Jens, I'd read you said there was still room for improvement at Motherwell. I'm just, in the way you play, and I'm just thinking, in what areas? Because things seem to be going so splendidly well.
No, I think in all areas. I still find actions in the games when we look back and in training where I think here we need to do better. Eventually, the opposition are going to score out here against us because especially some of the chances we gave away. We gave a big chance away when we are 11v10 last week in the middle of second half, which is completely unnecessary. And it's these little details switching off or not being sharp enough that we need to eradicate. And we don't play like with games without mistakes, and we can still produce more chances and score more goals. So there's plenty of stuff, and then all individual details on players from an individual point of view. You know, how can I scan even more in that situation? How can I play with more quality or with more sharpness there? That was my decision making in this and that situation. So there's plenty of stuff to do. And then in general, as a football club, we have a lot of buttons we can push outside the playing field, which will help us improve.
Sounds like you've constantly got your players on their toes. People might look and say, look at the clean sheet records you're setting, but for you it's still not good enough.
Well, it's not that it's not good enough, but we have to look at how do we make sure that we keep producing clean sheets. How do we make sure that we stay being a team that is really difficult to score against and to beat. And that is only going to be harder and harder because the opposition is trying harder. They are getting to know us better. They're finding new ways to make it hard for us to win games, and we just need to be one step ahead all the time. And then obviously from a player development point of view, it's also about getting the maximum potential out of the players, and they all have things they can improve to take the next step in their career.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, you've got a lot of games coming up in a short period. Is the squad deep enough to cope with that and keep the level you're at, or even get better?
No, I think we have a lot of capable players in the squad to be able to come in and deliver top performances. Got good width, we got good competition in almost all positions. Obviously, it's still January. The window hasn't closed yet, and we are spending every minute and day to see if we can if we can just get the last bit of quality and competition in and with to carry us through. Which means we haven't decided not to do any more business, but we need to make sure that if we do something, it's the right fit for us, because it's very specific what we do, and it takes a little bit of time to get up to speed with what we do and go in and deliver a top performance the way we play if you come from a different environment, and we have to make sure that the potential to learn that fast is there, or to go in straight away and deliver at the same level of what we already have, or even higher. And that is difficult for us to identify these players with the budget we are working with. It's possible, but we need to be really thorough and really patient and sharp.
Yeah, so Eythor fits that.
I think Eythor fits the profile that we felt we were missing in terms of a really physical, strong box nine that is kind of a universal tool for every style of play, because eventually you get the ball in the box and you need the best possible or the strongest player, and a good physicality, good in the air, strong in the hold-up play. And then he works hard, and he can press, and he can go in behind the opposition line, which is important for us, that we don't just have a static nine, but a mobile nine, both in and out of possession, and he has that in his trade as well. Plus he has, I think, a lot of room for development and improvement, since he's a little bit of a late bloomer.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he fits it perfectly.
How will he blend in with, I'm thinking, with Tawanda's being a goal machine this season already? Who do you think
No, he gives us. He gives us. Obviously, they're two very different profiles, but he gives us something that we have sometimes felt if we'd had that, then we would have potentially scored more goals. And also in set plays, he gives us something, and we know that in both ends set plays, we can still improve and get more out of that. And we know we're playing a lot of teams who are putting a lot of emphasis on set plays, also the way they recruit and build the team. And if we want to finish as high as we can, that's a big thing for us to try and see if we can lift a little bit. And he will give us some qualities there as well.
You happy that you're obviously seem to be very closely embroiled in the recruitment process? You see some managers at some clubs that maybe get players that maybe haven't really scouted themselves or looked at themselves, but you and Nick are obviously very much on the same page as the profile of player you're looking for.
Yeah, I think my experience is that it's by far the best. It will give the best outcome for the club and for the player if the manager / head coach is very involved in that process and knows exactly what he's getting, what he needs to develop, where he's really good. Because it just makes it so much easier from day one to go in and lift the areas or utilize the areas where he's really good, or lift the areas, develop the areas, push the areas where he needs to just add a little bit to get up to speed and to be able to compete. Plus the intention of the feeling that you really want this guy and you're patient with him getting up to speed or just getting, finding his feet in the club. It's also about believing in the character and the player. And the more you are committed to that process that happens before he signs, and that you really commit yourself to that, I think the better. So for me, it's absolutely crucial that I am extremely involved in that process. Even though we have really good people to help me with that.
Just ask you, obviously you asked about Stephen Welsh all the time. It's getting quite late in the window now. Are you starting to maybe look elsewhere, given that Celtic haven't signed a...
No, we started to look elsewhere from the day they called him back, because we know that there's a 50% chance, that's what we've calculated, that he will come back. He either will or he won't. So it's 50-50. Right, which means that we have to obviously prepare, and that's what we're doing. And as I said before, our centre backs job profile is quite specific, so it's about identifying the right one, and it's not easy for us. The best one we have is Stephen Welsh. As I said before, the dialogue with Celtic is still good and open, yeah. Besides that, it's a question for Celtic more, but obviously we are still looking in the background for a centre back, and Stephen Welsh is very high up that list.
Does Jordan McGee's return to fitness maybe give you a wee bit of comfort as well, that if nothing materialises, then you've basically got a new player from January that he wasn't available to you for
of course, it gives us an extra man in there. He has. It's not like he's played centre back his whole career, and especially not the way we play. But we tried a little bit in the pre-season before he got injured in the summer, and I remember to see some potential in that. Now he has come back, and I think he's progressing fine. And then obviously he's an extra man in there who can help us in that role. And then Gordo has done really well throughout the season. Paul has been really strong, and Sorts has also shown when he has played centre back that he can play at a very high level. So we have options already now in the house, which is good, and that's also the reason why we have been solid and being able to perform at a good level, even though we have missed Stephen over the last couple of weeks.
You asked about Livingston. Obviously, you had a really tough game there at the start of the season. It's kind of, you maybe weren't getting the rewards in a lot of games you were playing at the start of the season, but that one was you got over the line. But don't need the reminder that it's going to be a difficult game.
Yeah, look, obviously today looking at showing them the players some clips in the pre-match leading up to Livingston. We mainly focused on the game we played there, not the one we played here, because I suspect the game to be more similar to the first game we played than the second, because even though they've had a very tough spell of not winning games for a long time, I don't see a team that has given up. I see a team that fights for their life. I see a team that fights for their manager. I see a team that at times don't deliver the quality defensively that I'm sure David would want all the time. But in possession going forward, they can cause problems for all teams, especially at home. I still think they play with confidence and quality, and they know every plastic straw on that pitch in and out, which is an advantage. I really expect us to find a lot higher level than we did in the first game there, because if we play to that level, then luck's not gonna help save us this time. So we need to really find the tempo intensity that we have and the focus that we had for most spells out here, and then also in the last maybe 15-20 minutes, 25 minutes of that first game, we can't show up like we did last time. So that's the message, and I really look forward to it. To go. It feels a little bit like an opportunity to get back at them, because I remember it to be a very, very tough afternoon.
Jens, you'll probably be glad to see the back of the January transfer window, but have you received any bids for any of your players?
That is something that we keep inside the house, but if you're referring to any of our top players, then the situation is now that we have not sold any one of them, and that's not our intent. Whether there has been discussions or not, we'll keep that inside, and you can guess and you can speculate like all the other, all your other colleagues. But we want to keep people here, and we want to build on this squad, and that's what we're doing.
How's the squad looking?
Good. Very good, very good. Obviously, the guys who've been out, both long term and Sam, Andy is up to full training, which is really positive. And then we have some of the other guys, Cal Hendry, a little bit further behind, and we have Cookie and Elliot, who are getting close to getting back, and that is lovely to see. So hopefully, within a few weeks, will be almost everyone involved.
I just ask about a couple of players, Phillips, Zabarevic and Zach Robinson. How are they getting on? Are they progressing well?
Well, they're following their obviously they've been out for a long time, and we need to make sure that we load them back up to full fitness in the right tempo. And they also obviously the guys with the longest time before they're back. But we are progressing as we want with these two as well.